Namaste and welcome to the final episode of 103 FM's Divali Khaana. Today we will be making a famous South Indian dish called Dosa and Sambar. My name is Nirmala Sesnarayan and here I have with me Miss Siddhi Sankar and Miss Deepa Yankarran, and we would like to wish you Shubh Diwali. And speaking of South Indian, our saris today are South Indian inspired, sponsored by House of Zari.
So let's begin with our sambar. Sambar is a traditional dal type dish made from a mixture or a single pulse. Today we will be using Chatak's mixed dal. I have already washed my mixed dal, and in my pressure cooker I'll add my mixed dal with some hot water. To our mixed dal in the pressure cooker, we're going to add about 1 cup of grated carrots. So of course, salt to taste. Remember, be shy with your salt. Now we add some Chatak garlic seasoning mixed with Chatak's ground ginger to form a ginger garlic paste. Now we add some curry leaves. I'm going to add just about 5 or 6 curry leaves, and this is going to add a rich aroma and flavor, a certain astringency to our sambar. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of chopped pimento peppers, and pimento peppers will give us a lot of flavor with no sting. In our daba or masala pot, we have a variety of Chatak spices that's going to add aroma, flavor and color to our sambar. I'm going to add 1 heaping teaspoon of saffron powder or Chatak turmeric, 1 heaping teaspoon of paprika powder, 1 heaping teaspoon of raw ground jeera, 1 heaping teaspoon of Chatak's garam masala, and 1/2 teaspoon of Chatak's dhania powder. What a wonderful combination. So I'm just going to add a pinch hing or asafoetida. As our dal comes to a boil, I'm going to add an element of sour, and in this case I'm using Chatak's tamarind chutney. At this point I'm going to stir our sambar and cover. We're going to allow this to pressure for about 5 to 10 minutes. Here I have some desiccated coconut Nirmala that I got from the little store limited in Kirep. In a wide bottom pan, we're going to add just about 1.5 cups of desiccated coconut and toast this very lightly on a low to medium heat until it starts to develop some color. So in a large pot, we want to begin with 2 tablespoons of lotus soybean cooking oil, and our spices we begin to add. I have here some mustard seeds, of course, and we're going to add just about 1 tablespoon of Chatak's yellow mustard seeds. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of whole jeera. So as the mustard seeds sputter and pop, we just want to step back a little bit. I mean, this is all part of this fun in learning new cuisine, right? Next, we're going to turn our attention to that lovely ginger garlic paste that we used earlier. Go ahead and add 4 teaspoons. Next, add a nice handful of chopped onions. And lastly, we're going to add some Chatak saffron powder. As our onions begin to sweat, you'll see that I'm constantly turning this, right? That's because we don't want it to burn at any point. Next, we're going to add some curry leaves. Let's bring about 3 sprigs of that in here. Just empty it all in. Yeah. It may seem like a lot, but it's going to lend a lovely flavor to this dish. It really does. At this point in time, we have a little bit of pimento peppers remaining there. Let's bring that in and give this a nice local twist. Now we have about 4 cups of potatoes. Let's add that right in. This potato has been boiled and we had it set aside for quite some time, but it's going to absorb all the flavor from that oil, from the spices that we would have added, as well as from those curry leaves. So Deep, you had some hot water reserved to the side. Can I have some more here? Right, so what our hot water is going to do is that it's going to bring together all of these flavors to this potato. Another layer of flavor, we're going to add some raw ground jeera, 1 teaspoon. And lastly, to bring our masala ingredients to a close, we add salt. Now I see a chatak ingredient that they gave us here is chatak's ground black pepper. Now ground black pepper can be added to any dish just to bring it alive. So I'm just going to add a nice pinch to that, making our masala spicy and bright. Finally complete this, we're going to mash it so that when we build our dosas, we don't bite down into solid chunks of potato. And I know that Deepa loves food with variety of color and texture. So I have a nice bowl of fresh green seasoning right next to her. Let's just bring this all in with our local green seasonings. Go ahead, give us a nice healthy handful.
Sure.
There we go.
That's how you mash. That's how you mash aloo. That's how it's done.
This is our masala for our masala dosa. What do you guys think?
I love it.
It
I love the
looks
consistency.
So good.
Right. So let's get a bowl and set this aside until we're ready. So set aside, we have just about a 1/4 cup of a very thick coconut milk, and we're going to add our coconut shavings to that bowl. Deepa, we have some hot water in our kettle. We're going to add that hot water to our coconut shavings, just enough to cover it. Right, at this point, we're going to truncate our coconut chutney.
Really?
Right? So I know that it's not something that we normally do in Trinidad, but it's the traditional way of preparing coconut chutney in South India. So let's
This is very
begin.
interesting.
In the same pan, we add just about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and we're using coconut oil now because we really want to resonate those coconutty flavors.
Yes.
Right? So 2 tablespoons. And Deepa, we spoke about those South Indian spices, mustard seeds and jeera. Let's get 1.5 teaspoons each inside of here.
And
Jeera, whole jeera.
Sid, I have a green chili here. I love the flavor of it. Could I add it in?
And that's perfect, Deepa. So we're just going to remove the stem from the green chili, break it in half, and toss that in. And the excitement begins once again. So at this point, we're going to add some chopped onions, a little bit of that ginger garlic sauce once more, right, Nirmala, add that magic in here. Let's go. To make this even more special and a nice smooth consistency, Deepa, there's a blender right there. Let's just give half of this a nice blend. Add that back in. This point we can add some salt to taste and give that a nice mix, and we're done. So let's just look at this sambar. It's perfect. Now at this point, we're going to complete our sambar, which has finished boiling. I'm just bringing it back to a bubble. We're going to chonky using 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And Deepa, let's bring those spices one more time. Whole jeera. Let's do some chili peppers, some crushed chili peppers. Definitely those mustard seeds one more time.
Yeah.
These are gonna sputter and fry. Let's get some onions inside of this. There we go, a little bit again. Lovely. Some fresh curry leaves. And the same way that we in Trinidad will chunky our dal when it's done, you know, using that culture, yes. very simply add all of our ingredients into our dal. So simple, so easy, and so tasty. And the beauty of this type of cooking is that it's layers and layers of flavor that makes South Indian cuisine so special. So I did a lot of prep before we started today, just so that we can have our dosas ready to cook. First, I took 1 cup of urdi, that's chatak, washed, skinless urdi, and I soaked that overnight. Also, I soaked 1.5 cups of chatak's basmati rice in a separate bowl, together with a pinch of fenugreek or methi. After this soaked overnight, I would have washed all of the grains and put it into the food processor. Putting it into the food processor, I added a little water at a time until a very thick paste came about. When the thick paste came about, I set it aside in a bowl and allowed it to ferment for about 5 to 8 hours.
Interesting. Very, very, very
So
interesting.
that fermentation process is what is going to give our dosa its very distinct taste.
Delicious.
So I'm just going to show you what our batter looks like. This has almost doubled in size and it has gotten very thick into a very, very thick paste. So I'm not going to use all of this batter at once. I'm going to take just a little bit out and the rest I'm going to set aside in my refrigerator. Okay, so Nirmala, can you help me add some water to this? So little by little we're going to add water until we get, the consistency that we want it to be. So it should be a pourable batter. And at this point in time, we have a non-stick griddle on the stove. And we have that heating at medium-high heat. Dosa only cooks on one side.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And today we're going to fill our dosa with those lovely side dishes that we prepared. So our masala will then go into our dosa just like a crepe or a wrap. Ready?
Yes.
Now technique is important and we don't get technique overnight, right?
And you don't have to like grease your...
No, because it's already non-stick.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So let's go straight into it. Start in the center and pour, going out, and just gently with the back of your ladle press it out, trying not to break those concentric circles. So you may see the ends just pulling away just a little bit. At this point in time we want to add some coconut oil, and coconut oil again, it's going to resonate with the other flavors that we would have added in our coconut chutney, our sambar, as well as our masala for our masala dosa. And a little bit of coconut oil goes a long way. This will sizzle and sputter just until the rice from the dosa cooks so much that it lifts off of the pan.
Okay.
And that's exactly what we want. And Deepa, at this point, you can go ahead and add your masala. Just about 1.5 tablespoons. It's nice and hot. Go ahead, just in the center. Spread it around a little bit. And fermented foods like dosa, like idli, and even yogurt, it's very, very healthy for your gut. So, I mean, this is superbly perfect.
It's just like a probiotic as well.
Yeah, it acts like a probiotic. Right, and a little bit of our lovely, lovely smooth coconut chutney. Now that is simply delicious. There we go.
Press it down just a
Right,
slight
so you can
gently.
press it down just a little bit and bring this one.
Okay.
Oh, oops.
And this is definitely an experience,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So you're gonna
That
have
looks so delicious.
the sweetness of that coconut chutney, the savoriness of the masala, the smoothness of your sambar.
Wow.
I mean, this is absolutely perfect.
I love
is
it.
crispy.
Yeah.
How
Okay,
about
so
you?
Deepa, very carefully, you're going to start
Should
at
I
the
pull?
center. Yeah, all the way up. Pull it all the way up.
Okay.
And pour as much as you can in the center.
Okay.
And very gently push off to the sides. Right, so it's a nice quick process. Right. And using the back, right, just press very gently and form your dosa.
Oh wow.
That is perfect. And these can go as big as you want or as little as you want. That's a nice deeper dosa.
Okay, so all the way.
Right, just go confident and keep going. Right, that's okay. You can always fill them back afterwards. Right.
Right around to the end. I'm so fascinated by this. So you don't need to make like a flour wrap. You can use this as a wrap,
Yeah.
and you can
center.
basically put any
Right.
sort of filling,
Yeah.
any vegetable.
And that's enough oil.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is that coconut oil is a beautiful oil because it's so evenly balanced with the types of fats that it has.
I can see myself trying to make dosa,
Yeah.
but for like vegetable wraps.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely.
like putting vegetables in it, and you know.
Now you can also make these sweet as well by simply sugaring this dosa when it's finished formed on the pan and even adding fruits to it.
Oh,
So that's a nice way you can go as well.
interesting.
After my little issues just now.
Wow.
Ah, nice.
I am so fascinated by this dosa.
So our dosas are well prepared. I mean, we had a lot of fun making them, and it looks so beautiful against our South Indian saris.
Yes, for
This
sure.
has definitely been an experience.
Definitely. I feel like this dish just hit this personal spot in my life because I'm always looking for healthier alternative, and I love that it is a fermented batter.
Yeah.
Fermented batter. And fermented means it's a probiotic.
Yes.
Probiotic supports a healthy gut,
Yes.
which is always good, right?
Yeah, and it's
Absolutely.
also
I like that.
very gluten free.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And as I was saying before, I love the idea that I can make this into a wrap, have it for breakfast, put some
Yeah.
veggies in it, fruits,
yes,
as you were suggesting.
it's a very traditional South Indian breakfast.
very, very.
And I mean,
delicious
we can eat these with
looking.
forks, we can eat it with our hands. It doesn't matter how we choose to eat it will taste spectacular.
I can't
Right,
wait.
here, let's dig
So
in.
Oh, hear that crunch?
Yes.
that's exactly what you're looking for in a dosa. So I'm just gonna go ahead with some coconut chutney first. The sweetness of that natural coconut is just spectacular.
It's so delicious.
And the masala, let's try that.
I got a little bit of everything in one bite, and the combination is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Do you taste that hing?
Yes. And that masala and coconut chutney mix is just satisfying.
That's the beauty of Indian food. It touches all the tastes within our palate. We taste that savory, salty goodness, the lovely crunch from the dosa, and I mean, let's just taste that sour from that sambar. Ooh. I mean, we almost forgot about it. I'll have some as well. That's perfect.
Nice.
So you dip your dosa into
Definitely, yeah, you can do that. I'll just bring mine across. I mean, this is simply perfect. Wow.
so many flavors. It's like a burst of flavors. but it's like so delicious.
I would have the sambar alone.
Yeah, like a little bowl
Yes.
of sambar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go straight in with my hands, pick up some of that sambar, all those lovely chatak beans.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So delicious.
Perfect end. There's a lovely session of cooking.
So that brings us to the end of our savory dishes for this season of Divali Khaana. Happy Diwali!
Bye!